Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Indianapolis. It's time for the semifinals. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Bueller, and we are underway with Raymond Perez, otherwise known as Ray Perez, Future Pro. That's Ray Future Pro, against Daniel Chan. Now, what we see here is Esper tokens, but the Esper part of it, mainly the blue, actually comes in the sideboard, where everything else in the deck is black and white, and it's a black-white token stack.
The main deck is a black-white token stack.
Yeah. Now, on the other side, you'll see Abzan, and this is sort of the choice flavor of Abzan post-rotation currently, which is this Abzan deck is just rock solid. It's as solid as it's ever been.
Well, Daniel's mixed it up a little bit.
Oh, what does he have going on?
Heir of the Wilds.
Right.
Main deck Dispel.
This is a more aggressive one. Right. So I actually had the wrong list in front of me.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, this one's a little spicy. I like this. Abzan with blue.
It is blue Abzan, yeah. And there you see Heir of the Wilds coming down on turn 2.
Card just always on the fringe of being standard playable.
Right. Yeah, Forward in the first tree. Everyone agrees that's the one drop you want. But there just aren't a lot of 2-drops in the more traditional Abzan list.
Yeah, Hangerback Walker's kind of taken that place, but while a super solid card, it's not super potent too.
Yeah, only 3 Anaphenzes here, only 3 Gideons, only 3 Dromakas command. But then you get room for 3 Heir of the Wild. Also, only 3 Den Protectors. Apparently, Daniel's a fan of the number 3.
Maybe it's his lucky number.
4 Siege Rhinos, though.
Ah.
That one was worth going to 4 on.
Okay, so Daniel says, yeah, sure, we'll trade off for Hangerback Walker, but I'm going to level up my Warden. Ray put a counter on the Walker before it died so that it would trade, and a second Warden of the first tree here for Daniel Chan. Ray had to beat Patrick Chapin playing a control deck just to get here to the semifinals, so it
looked
was
like
a mighty hurdle.
It's a pretty nice matchup for the token side of that, though.
It did look pretty good for Ray.
Like, Secure the Waste is just filthy.
Yes.
Secure the Waste and then plus my Sorin.
That's how he killed him.
Both games.
Yeah, in that game, Chapin played Duress and missed.
Yep.
Even though many of Ray's threats come in non-creature form like Planeswalkers or Secure the Waste. But he had some Wingmate Rocks in hand. All right, so here's Painful Truths now for Ray. He's going to draw the full 3. This is the main way he can get ahead on cards when he needs to do that. He's got the Parathopters here as well. And, well, he didn't attack with any of them. Kind of interesting. I thought he would either attack with both or one. One, if he really wanted to block the Warden and force Daniel Chan to use the mana just to eat a token. Or both if he just said, yeah, I'm not blocking anyway. But Ray is down to 13 here. And we'll see how this turn develops for him. Chat points out that there are 2 Wardens but just 1 tree. There can be only 1 first tree, but many Wardens for it. It's pretty great.
Yeah, Ray was just willing to chump block.
He's just chump blocking. So Ray is playing for the long game here. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And Daniel Chan is going to play a Siege Rhino, which looks pretty good against a single Thopter token here. But Ray's going to get to untap, maybe play a Planeswalker. Maybe get a Wingmate Rock down with Raid. He's got an untapped land and the requisite rock.
He does have a Sorin.
Okay. Doesn't look great here, though, does it?
It would have been better if he hadn't jump blocked with the token. I wonder if that's what he just drew.
Huh. Looks like he's got a silk wrap in his hand.
Indeed.
Maybe an utter end there as well. He's got a lot to deal with here. Daniel Chan has definitely built out his board in a quick fashion here with the 2 Wardens and the Siege Rhino. You can take a look at Ray deep in the tank here. He knows that he's basically going to have to sequence this perfectly if he's going to win. He just doesn't have any mana to give away. So he's going to start things off by Silk Wrap and a Hanger Back Walker. So taking out the Warden of the first tree that was already up a level counter. The other one's still just the 1/1.
And again, the Thopter stays home to play defense.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, last turn it actually got Daniel Chan to not attack with
It did.
the unleveled Warden because he wanted to spend his mana on Siege Rhino.
Yeah. So it saved Ray a point of damage there. And the other one chump blocked to save 3 damage. This one's not going to be in as good of a position with Siege Rhino out there.
Because he'll chump block a Warden to save 3.
And tie up some of Daniel Chan's mana.
Or scare off the Warden if Daniel wants to spend his mana elsewhere. Are we turboing the back table to show later? Or what are we doing?
It's in the secondary feature. They're
Okay.
playing right next to them.
So we're just going to look in whenever we get the chance. In other words, I'm allowed to deliver a game update? Can you guess from the speed at which this game update comes in which side won?
Yes, I can. That would be the landfall deck, I'm assuming.
Scott Kirkwood. Red-green landfall takes a quick 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he's playing 4 Scythe Leopards in that deck.
Yep. Snapping Gnarlid.
Yeah. And then a bunch of the red cards that you would expect beyond that.
Yeah, Den Protector's the other card he gets that Itarka Red doesn't really play. Which is particularly nice with the unblockability. You can just, Titan Strength, I'm unblockable, get in there.
We saw that happen where, sometimes they go off with the combo. By the way, this is Daniel Chan just cashing in the Gideon for an emblem. But sometimes your opponent's at 8 or 9, and the Den Protector just kills them, and you don't need to have, multiple cards in your hand to assemble this double striking monstrosity. All right, in they come.
Double block Warden. This is a trade, unless Daniel has a trade.
Yeah, I guess he's just.
Could be Murderous
Is
Cut.
it Murderous Cut that he's playing around here? Okay.
Well, it's a 2/2 Warden, so that's why they needed a double block for the trade.
Right.
But Murderous Cut turns it into a chump block.
Right, so actually really nice there for Daniel Chan. He gets rid of the Hanger Back Walker and the Thopter. That does leave a Thopter behind, of course, but I mean, so far, Ray's board state has basically been Thopter. He's been scrambling to try to keep the threats from Daniel Chan off the battlefield, but Ray's at 5.
Right. Siege Rhino hits pretty hard.
Yeah, it does feel like he's in a reasonable spot here, though, if he utter ends the Siege Rhino, can soak up some more damage from the Warden, and then can try to turn the game around on the next turn. Like, he's got Daniel down to 2 threats at the moment because Gideon got cashed in for the emblem immediately rather than generating more and more creatures. So there we go. Utter end. Get that out of here. And
Ray's definitely going down to Siege
I
Rhino
guess
range.
Dromaca's command just kills him here.
Dromaca's command does just kill him here.
Yeah, so that's tough. But Ray's just trying to get these cards out of his hand, and he can breathe a sigh of
chump
relief.
block? Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, the pump would send him to 1.
Right. The pump would send him to 1, or the 2 would send him to 3, in which case the Siege Rhino kills him. So really compelled to chump block there, and now he's just crossing his fingers that
There
not
is a
another
Siege
threat.
Rhino.
Oh, there is a Rhino? Oh.
Be it 2.
That's bad. Yeah, that makes both threats lethal here, and that is really tough for Ray to get ahead. He's just been able to deploy basically 1 answer per turn.
He's got an Obnixilis in his hand, I think I saw, which could kill the Rhino.
Just leaves him dead.
But yeah, he's dead to the last Warden. That hand was just.
I mean, he's got 5 cards in his hand. He just hasn't been able to deploy them quickly enough.
Yep.
To combat what Daniel's been doing.
Right, 5 cards in his hand. But he hasn't played a 1-mana spell the entire game. He's played a couple of 2s, but it's mostly been 4.
Yeah, that was his big turn when he played the Hanger Back Walker and the Silk Wrap to try to stabilize, and it just wasn't quite enough. And you get a look at Daniel's face. He looks like he's about to win a game. The shot of Ray didn't quite, and he says, "Yep, I've seen enough." He did need to make sure that there was nothing that could be done, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
And Daniel Chan takes game 1 with his kind of unorthodox Abzan list here.
Definitely get a lot of fun ofs.
And he, of course, he takes a quick chat over. The players will be, or excuse me, a quick peek over. The players will be provided with deck lists. They get to look at it, and then they have to put it away. It's not the kind of thing that you can have on the table while you're playing. But
yeah. Can we peek in on game 2?
yeah, he's getting it set up for us, I think.
Table? Excellent.
There we go.
Scott Kirkwood on the right with the landfall deck. Couple of side leopards. And there's the snapping Gnarlid as well.
Gnarlid. And it looks like 3 cards in hand, and I think they're all lands for Kirkwood.
Oh, that's not good.
No, even though he does have 3 landfall creatures and a fetch land on the battlefield.
Yeah, Anafenza is just bigger than anything. I mean, it's not. I don't know if the wall is brick because it's not that hard to go up and over and through. But you need the combo.
Brick wall.
Yeah, you need the combo.
Yeah.
Like this is the point where, I mean, historically this is the point where the red deck loses to the green creature deck because the creatures on the green side are just bigger. In this current day and age of Standard, however, there's Become Immense and Temur Battle Rage, and you can just go up and over with some giant double striking combo monster.
He does have a second fetch land here. So, like, next turn, we could be looking at 3 landfall triggers, maybe even 4 if he draws another one. Does that get him around a Siege Rhino and an Anafenza? It feels like not.
No, not from 15.
Not from 15, but if he can find some of the big punch cards, which he just doesn't have here, maybe he could get it done. He's at 13. I wonder when Brent starts turning the table on Scott. Yeah. I mean, you certainly don't want to give the red-green deck a lot of time to find those combo pieces.
Duress now. There's the flashing green light. Forest in hand. And that is one of the dangers of the landfall version of this deck is that it plays 24 land.
Which is way more than you'd expect from an aggro deck like this, right?
But it kind of has to. Otherwise, Scythe Leopard just kind of sits around as a dork.
Yep. So in they come, Anafenza and Siege Rhino. I wonder if Scott lines up blocks here. Like he can make his team. He can put a lot of power and toughness in front of these creatures if he wants with those fetch lands.
Yep.
Like 10 power.
Everybody on Anafenza.
I'm assuming he would order them leopard. I guess. Oh no, he actually started with the snapping Gnarlid.
Yeah, well, he can only get one.
But he can make him crack.
He can make him crack both the fetches to get, and then he would get a leopard.
Yeah.
Instead, he's going to crack one. Did he need to crack both?
If he cracks one, he's fine.
Why not just crack one?
He has a 3/3 Gnarlid and then the 2/2 Leopard, which eat. And he gets to keep both leopards.
Agreed.
But for some reason, he decided to crack both of them. There's no emblem, right? I'm not missing that. No emblem.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he only needed to crack one fetch land.
Okay, so the trade is complete either way, and he takes a bunch of damage from a Siege Rhino, and hello, another Siege Rhino.
Yeah, we're going to game 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not winning with that many lands in your game.
He's found a Temur Battle Rage, but
okay.
it's
now,
too late, right?
Can we stay alive one turn? We only need to buy one turn.
Mm.
You get to assume become
and have a creature.
Right. You have to survive one turn with one creature left and have become immense on top of your library. That's the game plan now.
Okay. Scott Kirkwood, I think he'll be grateful just to have a game plan.
Right.
I do wonder if that extra fetch comes back to bite him here, though.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to trigger the Scythe Leopards on defense, wouldn't it?
He needs as much toughness as he possibly can get here. You know, with all that trample damage ready to come over, it can get pretty ugly. This looks like a Den Protector getting turn face up for Brent.
Yeah, I don't know that he can survive this turn.
Yeah, I'm not convinced either, but I'm also going to let Scott figure it out.
Right. All right, everybody turns sideways. Oh, is he going to use the Temur Battle Rage defensively? He's just
he used it on his Siege Rhino. You know what, Scott? I can appreciate that. Go out with a flare. All right, so that means that we're going to get a game 3, and we're going to jump back over to table A. But as you can see, we're in a bit of a holding pattern here. So we'll just hang out for a few. Hope everybody's having a nice evening. It's almost 6 o'clock here in Indy.
Sure.
The rounds have felt long. The standard tends to be long rounds for a big tournament like this, but we're cruising right along.
Yeah. Pastimes is doing a great job running things.
Yes. Very smooth here. Judge staff completely on point this weekend as well. And I got to say, Indiana's a great city to hold a Magic tournament in. It's easy to get into.
Lots of shrimp
Shrimp
cocktail.
cocktail right across the street. Hotels are close. I like it here.
Should have some like giant gaming convention maybe. Think that would go over well?
Interesting thought. No, probably not. There's no market for it. All right. So this looks like this is Daniel mulliganing.
We needed more shuffling.
I think Ray's kept. So we've got 2 obs on lists in our top 4, Esper tokens and red-green landfall. Not bad.
Yeah.
I will say, no dark Jeskai, huh?
Not even in the top 8.
Right.
It.
What happened there?
I was talking with Eric about that. I think the metagame, just everybody targeted Dark Jeskai, and the day 2 metagame, super unfriendly. She had great players having miserable day 2s. Luis lost 5 in a row to close the tournament. Owen lost 6 out of 8 to close the tournament.
It's tough. Do you feel like the decks good against Jeskai kind of rose up, and then they were bumping into those the whole time?
I do, although I don't truly understand why Obzon is good against Jeskai. I mean,
yeah, maybe we'll play some on Magic Online later and we'll sort it out.
I mean, Crackling Doom is such a good card from Jeskai against the Anafenses and Siege Rhinos of the world that I mean, I thought the consensus coming out of the Pro Tour was you want to be on the Jeskai side of that matchup, except, I mean, both of them were about equally represented on day 2, and there's 3 Obzons in the top 8. No Jeskai even came close. Not at the end, anyway.
Yeah,
we had like 1 playing for 9th or something.
Yeah, it's tough because, you know, obviously variance comes into play here.
Sure.
But, I mean,
that's
Luis
enough
Scott
numbers
Vargas
to add
and
up to
Owen
a
Turtenwald, like, having a day 2 like that, something's up.
And
right?
3 in the top 8 versus 0.
Right. Something's up there. Yeah, that matchup might be more skewed than it looks. All right, here's Duress for Ray Perez Jr.
Here's Virulent Plague in from the sideboard. Is that a good card to have in your sideboard against a tokens deck?
I thought so, but he didn't even take it.
Wow. How do you not take Virulent Plague there?
He must have a plan for that.
Well, he could have Utter End in his hand. Figure maybe I'll just have a way to deal with Virulent Plague. I don't really want to let him draw cards with Obzon Charm.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, Ray could absolutely think that this matchup ends up being much more grindy than it was in the first game, which looked like, you know, the blue Obzon deck was very aggressive in that first game, and it looks like it is going to be here too as well. But we'll get an idea once we get a better look at Ray's hand how this game plays out as he sets up his mana. Yeah, interesting GP we have here. You never want to take too much out of one tournament, you know.
Right.
But it is interesting to see, because on paper, yeah, that Jeskai looks like it has a fine matchup against Obzon, for example. Here's Murderous Cut. All right, so Ray Perez feeling a lot better being on the play here and being able to answer threats on his own terms while not taking damage every single time. By the way, that die on the battlefield is nothing.
It's a memory.
It's a mere memory. Okay, and that's great, I think, for Ray. If he was really worried about that card, he would have just taken it out with the Duress.
Right.
And if that's Daniel Chan's turn 3 play, I think Ray's pretty thrilled with that. Although slamming a Planeswalker there probably would have been pretty sweet, even if it's not going to make tokens that live currently.
Ray does have exactly the Utter End.
He does.
That we speculated.
Ah. So Daniel must have passed the turn back to Ray, who does use the Utter End now. Does he have a Planeswalker now? Start spewing out some 2/2s of various forms. It's one of the things his deck does very well. Maybe a painful truths here. I see that he has disdainful stroke in his hand. Oh, Ray passed the turn.
Yeah.
Looks like he wants to leave up disdainful stroke, but I haven't got a chance to see what threat he could have played there. I think maybe there isn't one in his hand. Wow, that's a nice little play from Daniel Chan there. He plays his den protector, I'm assuming, face down there. And Ray just has nothing to say about it. He's made sure to leave up the 2 mana as well. That disdainful stroke not doing any work for Ray as of yet.
At least the virulent plague is exiled.
Ah, yeah, good point. But that's a huge play for Daniel. I mean, he can turn that thing face up, get an Obzon charm back, start drawing a bunch of cards. He could just get a Warden of the First Tree if he just felt like getting an attacker down would be best. He's just got options. Not much Ray can do about it either. And Ray just says, yeah, I'm going to have to just ruin his path, that thing. And, I mean, this never feels good. You know, Ray's not going to be happy about having to do this, but... And there's Obzon Charm. That also cannot be disdainful stroked here. I'm sure that Daniel has keyed into the fact that Ray has been keen to leave up mana, especially this turn where it's like kind of that glaring blue colorless. I have it. And probably won't want to run in something absurd.
Bad news from the bag table for Landfall fans. Brent Clausen has won the match.
Whew. So that's Obzon in the finals?
Yes.
Lock that up. And we've got Obzon up a game here over Ray Perez as well. We could have a little flashback here in Indy. All rhinos all the time. The difference being, of course, that now we don't know when they're going to top deck them, and before we did. Take a look at Ray. Wow, another Den Protector. Daniel, again, deftly making sure he's not going to run into disdainful stroke here.
Now we're in Den Protector for Den Protector land, aren't we?
Yes, that's right. He played Ruinous Path on the last one. And this, you just fall further and further behind. I just saw Hixus in his hand, right? Like,
yes.
That wasn't me.
Yes, you did.
Thinking we were playing limited for a minute or something. That was Hixus Prison Warden.
There are some fun ofs.
Wow.
He's got a Hixus. He's got a pitiless horde.
This is a spicy one, Daniel Chan. If he does manage to get by Ray, we're going to have 2 very different builds of Obzon. Let's see what Ray can do here, because now all of a sudden Den Protector's also just pressuring Ray's life total as it does. Murderous Cut, though, is going to kill it. Now, this is an interesting opening for Daniel Chan. Does he want to take a opening to resolve something? Well, he does. It ends up being Obzon Charm. This is on end step, assuming he's going to draw 2 here.
He can draw a Dispel.
Oh, that's right.
And he does.
He did! Oh, that's negate, but
Either same deal.
whatever. Oh, my goodness. Finds it. And, you know, he kind of let Ray know that
He did.
I
he
didn't
did.
have it.
Yeah,
He held
that
it
was hilarious.
right off his library and then just put it on the battlefield. Oh, this is just not going well for Ray. He's trying to get value out of his cards, but Daniel just refuses to get it for him and even just hits stuff like that. Wow. I got to tell you, Randy, if you would have told me, a few months ago that, we were going to be commentating a semifinal match where somebody played Obzon Charm into negate, I don't think I would believe you. Okay, well, finally a threat here for Ray.
Sort of.
Doesn't do much, though, does it?
It doesn't make things that block Den Protector.
Right. So Daniel just gets full regency on whether he wants to chip away at Ray's life total, whether he cares about Gideon. He just gets to decide that and can do whichever he'd prefer. All right. So Ray says the shields will be down.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you resolve. I'm sure he's thinking about cards like Siege Rhino here. And I'm going to protect my Gideon. So a nice sequence there from Ray. Again, Standard can be very tempo-based, and the turn where you get to play two good spells is the reason why people play Murderous Cut and that kind of thing. The mana efficiency can be great. So Ray has swung the immediate board state back in his favor pretty significantly. But we know, and he does too, that Daniel's got another Den Protector in hand. He's got a Den Protector in the yard. He can just get through these Obzon Charms, and he's just going to be able to, as long as he's not under any pressure, just draw infinite cards here. Here's Anafenza. And a Warden that he's left the mana up to be able to pump as well. So, not an explosive turn for Daniel, but a good one. He just put up 7 power and 7 toughness in the same turn, if he wants.
He's also left up negate mana.
He has, just to put the fear in Ray.
2 negates in the sideboard.
He doesn't actually have any here. He does have a Silk Wrap. All right, Ray's just going to rumble.
Gideon charges over.
I like that. Daniel's thinking about chump blocking. Okay. So Daniel stays at 14, but Ray gets a card out of the deal. Eliminates a potentially very annoying threat. Daniel's going to crack a fetch to go down to 13, but what does he have lined up for this turn? Silk Wrap attack. Doesn't really get him where he wants to go. It's a nice hit, though.
Chump block there. I'm not sure I like this chump block play. Imagine if he just had a Warden on this board right now. Silk Wrap attack would kill Gideon. And he'd be able to put a counter on the Warden. Like,
Yeah.
Are those 5 life that important right there?
Yeah, he was going 14 to 9, and it's hard to think that Ray could just kill him from 9 very easily. So Daniel must feel like he's far ahead enough on cards that he can just throw away, whole cards for damage here, which isn't normally the case.
I mean, he does have a Den Protector loop going, but Gideon's a thing.
I'm assuming this is attacking Ray.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, down to 7. Does he have something that he can do after? See, now the problem here, of course, is that Ray has all of his mana available, and we've been talking about Disdainful Stroke. So Daniel still has to play around it. You know, even a card like Siege Rhino, again, wouldn't have been a thing. Now, I think his last card is Hixus, though. I don't think he has any more cards than that. So Ray still hasn't been able to play Disdainful Stroke on anything.
True.
But this has set up a lethal crackback for Daniel Chan. Whoa. No fear, Ray Perez. Just going to rumble. I like the stare down there, too.
I mean, if your opponent's going to keep chump blocking, let him.
I mean, now Daniel can't, right? I mean, he's going to look at it and say, but I just attack for 7 and kill you. I'm at 12.
Makes sense to me.
I mean, he does get value here. It's not like he can keep doing this, right? Like, this doesn't actually cost him much, but I would just be scared to let Ray have multiple draw steps as well. I mean, his deck's very powerful. Got to be careful. So I'm assuming he's going to get back the other Den Protector, which he does.
So 5 mana per turn can just block Gideon forever.
Mm-hmm. And Ray has Wingmate Rock. All right. The truth comes out. We see now what that attack was about. And again, I think Ray's pretty happy with the result, too.
Should be.
Yeah. Like a chump block, not for full value, but still to lock up a bunch of Daniel's mana, but then putting out Rock plus Bird and Gideon still going strong. This looks great for Ray. At least that turn did.
Yep.
And Ray once again is left up Disdainful Stroke. Again, Daniel knows. He hasn't actually seen it, but the way that Ray's played this game and constantly left up those 2 mana is just going to be red flag there to Daniel Chan.
And if he had a Den Protector that he could attack with, it'd be 4 power and unblockable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love these chump blocks. It feels like he's let Ray into the race. It's a race that Daniel was winning a couple of turns ago.
He's left his life total pretty high at 12, but, you know, we were just thinking, well, he could have taken one of those hits and not sought a reasonable life total at least.
I mean, he could have taken both of those hits. Although if he takes the first one, he kills Gideon.
Yep. So here it is, Den Protector again, face down. This loop has continued for Daniel Chan. But is Ray lining up big attacks here? What
The
if
Wingmate Rock's a problem.
Yeah.
Right. It's 6 power. There's no blockers.
He's gaining.
And he's going to gain some life.
I mean, he may just activate Gideon and Rumble here.
Yeah.
Does leave him one short of actually killing Daniel. Which is awkward. It's been kind of a weird game. It's played out in a strange way. Still don't know who's going to win either. Daniel could be trying to lean on Hixus and feeling like he just needs to run that out there.
Sure.
It's not going to work. He made an emblem.
Yes.
With room to spare, by the way. This does leave him the option of attacking with one Wingmate Rock putting Daniel down to 4 and then killing him next turn with both. He can gain a life to go to 8 by doing that as well.
Sure.
He could attack with both and go to 9. But then he loses to, like an Obzon Charm or something like that. Probably just attack with 1, right? No, he passed the turn.
Wow.
Ray shipped the turn back, and he finally found a home for that disdainful stroke. And it was Hixus Prison Warden, of all things.
Of course it was.
Land off the top for Daniel. Now remember, he's got a lot of mana and a Den Protector face down, so that's not the end of the story for this turn.
Flips his Den Protector. Regrows Obzon Charm.
Yep.
And takes down the bird. Yeah, now attack. And Offenza puts a counter onto the Den Protector, which means the bird can no longer block it.
Is the Den Protector attacking Gideon?
Gideon, yeah.
I wonder why.
That doesn't work. Oh, the emblem. I forgot about the emblem.
It's got an emblem, yep.
My bad. It does totally works, and it's a trade. No, it just eats it? Daniel totally forgot about the emblem too, didn't he?
He did.
Daniel just completely missed the emblem. I mean, I did too. It's like I saw the attack. I saw the same thing Daniel did.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this makes sense. Turn Den Protector to 4 power.
Instead, Ray takes 4 from Anafenza and eats a Den Protector.
Wow.
Shambling Vents.
And Gideon lives.
Attack, and Daniel Chan needs something immediately.
That's 13.
And he doesn't have it. Ray Perez wins game 2. It was a crazy game. And we're going to get a game 3.
Oh, my God, that game.
What happened there? Crazy. This has been such a weird GP. It feels like it's been like this the whole time. Just crazy plays. Can't predict anything.
Wow.
So we're going to get a game 3. I know that the chat was hoping for a game 3, and I won't lie, I was too. So put on your seatbelts, kiddos, because we're going for a ride. I have no prediction for how this is going to go, but it's going to be interesting. Hixus got countered that game. See people asking in the chat what happened.
What happened
I can't
was
type that fast.
Daniel went to kill Gideon. He thought that a 4-power Den Protector would kill the Gideon, and he'd be back ahead in the race with no Gideon available for the crackback. Didn't need a creature on the crackback because Gideon was clearly going to be dead. He missed the fact that Ray Perez had made a Gideon emblem, and that the Wingmate Rock, which 3/4 bird token, can't block a 4/3 Den Protector, right? Well, Gideon emblem meant that the bird token was actually 4/5. Not only can it block the Den Protector, it kills the Den Protector and survives. So, Den Protector down. Yeah, Ray takes 4 from Anafenza down to 3, but whatever. His crackback is now Gideon plus the Wingmate Rock token that's left over. And what was the other creature he had in play? Is the third creature in play. And it's just lethal crackback on the spot.
Oh, he made a Shambling Vents.
Oh, Shambling Vents, right. Fires up Shambling Vents. Shambling Vents at now 3 power thanks to the emblem. Plus the 4-power rock. Plus the now Gideon sees his own emblem.
6 power.
Dead.
Crazy game.
And we got there because Daniel had made it such a priority to preserve his life total by chump blocking. And then just you missed the one subtle little
Yeah.
emblem, right. Your 4 power. You can block Den Protector. Whole line of play came crumbling down.
Yeah, very slowly inched advantage towards Ray Perez over the course of that game, and then in one fell swoop, he just took the game. Now, we've already got our first finalist, Randy.
We do.
And that's Obzon.
We do.
That would be Brent Clausen here.
Pretty straightforward Obs on deck.
This is the straightforward Obzon deck.
Lots of 4 ofs.
That one's our comfort zone. For those of you at home who watch a lot of coverage with us, you'll know what that deck looks like. The other one's a little different. Take a look at our upcoming Magic events. We've got a lot lined up. Legacy. Not many Legacy GPs in a calendar year, but here we go. Grand Prix Seattle, Tacoma. That's next weekend.
Yep.
I will be there. I'll be covering that event. And then a couple weeks... Sorry, the next weekend after that is GP Atlanta. That's limited. That's Star City's covering that one.
Double GP weekend. Brussels is also
That's right, and Brussels is happening that same exact weekend. And then the next weekend after that, another double GP weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh here in North America, modern.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of modern fans out there. And there's also a lot of standard fans. You can watch. We won't have video of Grand Prix Kobe,
Did
but
you
we'll have the text.
Did you see the results of the modern GP in Porto Alegre this weekend?
No.
16 wild Nakados in the top 4.
Really?
16 wild Nakados in the top 4.
Remember when they unbanned a call? It was like, yeah, whatever.
Apparently in South America, they were like, yes, finally we get to play with wild Nakado again.
Crazy.
Let us attack each other with 3/3s.
Don't forget about the World Magic Cup in December as well. That is going to be... It's one of the premier events for the season for sure. All right. Game 3. What is going to happen here between Daniel Chan and Ray Perez? Well, I can tell you the start. And it's a warden of the first 3 for Daniel Chan. He passes the turn back to Ray, who just plays his Champlain Vents and passes. Now, Ray seems to have configured his deck post-board to be a lot more controlling. In the main deck, it's fairly controlling as well, but he knows that he's not the beatdown in this matchup, and he's going to react accordingly. And he's going to take 3 here, though, from the Warden. So a solid start for Daniel Chan, uses his mana up, and gets in there for 3. Ray, no Silk Wrap. And he's already taken 6 damage off of this Warden. And we've seen where this goes. If Ray doesn't find answers for these things, he gets ran over very quickly. Especially if this is going to be an on-offenza here for Daniel. You can get a Sunken Hollow and play it. Uh-oh. We had a pretty interesting game, too, but if this is on-offenza, it can get out of hand very quickly. There she is. Nothing from Ray yet. Uh-oh.
Yep. 7 power worth of attackers versus 14 life. Knight of the White Orchid for value.
Okay, that's going to buy him a little bit of time and get him some mana.
It's smaller than both of Daniel's creatures.
Yeah, he'll have to chump, but this is a window for him to do some big things in a turn or two, especially if he can use this mana of this turn. Now he has a Silk Wrap.
Now he's got a Silk Wrap.
And now he has to decide which creature he'd actually like to kill. Yeah, I think it's all about the here and now. You know, as the game goes long, that Warden can get out of hand. But right now, that on-offensa represents effectively 5 power of attack. So he's going to take that off the table here and just take another 3, it looks like. This could be Ray stabilizing here, though. This is a big turn for Daniel. Is it a Siege Rhino?
Yes, it's a Siege Rhino.
So tough to beat this draw. Warden, level it, on-offensa Siege Rhino. Go.
That's the good draw.
Now a sweeper would do Ray just fine. Is he bringing any out of the board? End hostilities. He's also got Languish, which doesn't get the job done here. He's got 3 Surge of Righteousness that he can bring in too. Obnixilis, though, and he gets to hide behind the Knight of the White Orchid. This is getting interesting. Oh, Daniel has another Siege Rhino in hand. Block. Save my Obnixilis. You just say sure here.
Yeah.
Right? All right, there we go. Oh, he leveled it up.
He did.
He did not play a Siege Rhino.
True story.
So he gave it lifelink and trample, which carried over 1 damage to Obnixilis and gained Daniel 3 life there. But it doesn't kill Obnixilis.
Yeah.
That's the kind of play I would expect if it was like, I just got to get rid of Obnixilis for whatever reason. As it sits, Obnixilis is kind of helping him out a little. I mean, he's drawing cards, but Ray's got cards in hand. Is that a murderous cut for Ray? I believe it is. That if he has a murderous cut, that can really punish Daniel here. Because he's sunk a lot of resources into this Warden rather than diversifying them by playing the
Siege Rhino?
The Siege Rhino. Now, you know, to be fair to Daniel, if he does play the Siege Rhino, then all of a sudden the end hostilities looks a lot better for Ray. And he does have his sideboard in front of him, so he's seen it. You know, so Daniel kind of had to pick what he wanted to play around, and he decided to play around the sweeper instead, but it just so happens that Ray has the murderous cut in his hand this time. And now Ray's at 7 life, borderline stabilized here, and he has an Obnixilis on the battlefield. Maybe Disdainful Stroke here too? Could it be? Heir of the Wilds. And he's going to go ahead and run the Virulent Plague out there, even though it doesn't do anything at the moment. I think Ray's going to be very happy that that's all that was produced is just a 2-powered attacker. He's going to go down to 6. Still pretty safe. Ray does have the ability to gain life back as well, and he's found another murderous cut. Is this Obnixilis just going to completely take over this board for Ray Perez? All right, that was a ruinous path this time, but he's kept the board clear. That's the key. This was turn 1 Warden, turn 2 level it, turn 3 on offensive, turn 4 Siege Rhino, and potentially turn 5 Siege Rhino if he wanted it. And Ray is still alive somehow.
I think he wanted it.
And here's Disdainful Stroke for Gideon. You know, leveling up that Warden, like I said, it did play around a sweeper a little bit better. But man, he's getting punished for it.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to play the Rhino there. For the record, Gideon and Virulent Plague, not exactly a combo.
Right.
Virulent Plague is all creature tokens get minus 2,
So it's
minus
just
2.
I mean, Gideon's still okay.
He attacks.
but
we saw
you're
him
right.
do a lot of attacking in the last game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Knight of the White Orchid, but Ray's way ahead on lands here, so that's not going to do anything. Ray's at 5. He is going to want to keep his life total above 3. He's already, you know, at 6, so that's kind of off the table at this point. Siege Rhino goes on the stack. I don't think Ray has another Disdainful Stroke, else he would use that thing with the quickness, because Siege Rhino, you know, means he doesn't get to draw as many cards now with Obnixilis. He's got answers to kill the Rhino. That's not the problem here. He's got an Utter End. I believe he even has maybe even a cut. No, it's just an Utter End. But even Obnixilis can just kill the Siege Rhino. But now Ray's at 2.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to have to just go ahead and use Obnixilis here and go down to 1. There's no difference between 2 and 1 against Daniel Chan's deck here, right?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is that Ray doesn't get to crack any fetch lands.
Right.
That said, I agree with you. I would draw the card and go to 1.
Yeah, try to get that Disdainful Stroke. Well, there's a Flooded Strand, a little awkward. Oh, I guess he's not going to. He's cracking it. Go to 1. Now, what he did there, by the way, is he played a Gideon and immediately cracked it. Let's see why. Because he's going to get some life back right now. That's why. Shambling
Very
Vent.
nice.
And it's bigger. It's 3 power. He just attacked for 6 and went up to 4. And, yeah, he didn't use Ob, right?
Interesting.
And I think he just doesn't want to lose the Siege Rhino on the spot.
Do you know there is a difference between 4 and 3?
Yeah. I
Definitely
like that
difference.
play from Ray. And the tides have certainly turned sharply in Ray Perez's favor here.
Kind of crazy, but kind of true.
Yeah. Well, this game delivered. I told you we don't know what to expect. And
You were right to want the third game.
we were on the right path with wanting this third game, yes. Feel like they should stand up and scream, "Are you not entertained?" All right. Oh, he found a Den Protector.
Yes, he did.
Okay, what does that change? He's got a Warden, a Siege Rhino, which we know about. He's got a Gideon and an Heir of the Wild in his yard. So the Siege Rhino, the best thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Now, if only the Morph could get in and attack, that Siege Rhino would be lethal. But
Yeah.
once again, the apparently 2-power creature will in fact be able to block the 3-power Den Protector.
Now Ray,
Is there an Abzan Charm in there?
Ray's gonna rumble.
Ray's just going to kill it without Nixilis.
Yeah,
He's not interested in there being potentially unblockable creatures on Daniel's side of the board.
I like it, and this is gonna make sure that he gets a hit in with the Shambling Vent as well,
Sure.
which is gonna buoy his life total up to 7. Which that's safe. 7's nice. 7 is now you can start ticking up Ob Nixilis again. And by the way, these are big chunks of life total here too.
Shambling Vents.
Oh, 2 vents. I didn't see the other one.
2 3-power
9
Shambling
damage?
Vents. Wow.
Ray is now back up to 10 life and has just whittled down Daniel Chan. And even with Daniel with that Siege Rhino in his hand, it just doesn't
Wow.
look great for him.
Ray put on a clinic this game. And I thought Ray was dead last game. Thought Daniel was going to win the match 2-0. Ray has come all the way back. Does not want us to have to watch Abzan v Abzan in the finals.
You know, I can appreciate that. I have seen many Abzan mirror matches in my day in the booth, and I think Black and Esper tokens would be pretty cool. Now, I'm sure Daniel Chan vehemently disagrees with me on that issue, and I don't blame him for it. Murderous cut to kill the Rhino.
Yep.
And this is just going to be Ray. He's not winning this turn, but this thing's done. Daniel doesn't have a way to get back from this.
I don't think so. Fire up the Shambling Vents again, right?
Yeah. It's hard to imagine doing something better with your mana this turn than gaining 6, dealing 6, plus the 3, so 9 total, and putting Daniel Chan down to 5. He's going to draw a card with Ob just to make sure that he knows what his options are before doing this. Ray's playing very carefully here. Doesn't want to get hasty. Though he knows he's close to the finals.
Yeah.
He knows that he's almost there. I know Ray's put in a ton of practice at this game.
Yeah. And this deck in particular.
Yes.
Read the text piece, feature match, featured deck tech. Ray claims 80 hours of practice with this deck, which basically debuted last weekend.
Right. So he's been grinding. Yeah, you know, that is Ray's approach to Magic here. I think that's, that was an Abzan Charm for Daniel. He also has a Shambling Vents that he can activate to block with. Yeah, you know, Ray played more casually, more, normal people Magic for quite a while, and decided that he wanted to be a professional player, at least give it a shot. And his approach, and I really respect this, was he's just like, I'm going to outwork everybody. And because he knew he wasn't good enough at the time, to compete with the Eric Frolichs of the world. And so what he did is he said, my advantage is going to be that I play more. All right, well, that does not save you. Let's see, the Shambling Vent chumps one of them, and you go to 6 and take 3. So that actually does keep Daniel alive for a turn, but it doesn't feel like a winning, not a winning play here. He is merely staving off defeat for a turn here. Vent 1 online. Vent 2, Rumble.
No choice.
No choice. Activate this. May I go to blocks? Sure.
Do you wish to jump? Yes.
He did. His vent dies. Ray still has Obnixilis. By the way, Obnixilis has been amazing this game for Ray.
Indeed.
He's drawn like 3 or 4 extra cards, maybe even 5. He's killed a creature.
Wow.
And that's it. Ray Perez advances to the finals here in Indianapolis in a swingy, crazy match against Daniel Chan. And Ray is the victor. Congratulations to Daniel on a strong finish as well. That is going to do it for the semifinals here from Indy.